Hey, Assalamualaikum. Hi, this is Amina. We are going to be making pita bread today, and first we're going to go through the ingredients that you need. You're going to need 3 cups of flour, a tablespoon of honey, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, anywhere from 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil, 2¼ teaspoons of yeast or 1 packet yeast. You're also going to need extra flour for kneading, and you're going to need cornmeal for baking the pita. You're also going to need anywhere between 1 and 1.5 cups of water. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, Assalamualaikum. First step is activating our yeast. You're going to need a ½ cup of tap water, so we're going to go get that right now. Okay. You're going to add a teaspoon of the honey. Doesn't have to be a perfect teaspoon. Okay, and we're going to sprinkle the 2¼ teaspoons of yeast or 1 packet of yeast on top. And we're going to whisk that together. And now we're going to let this sit for about 10 minutes and let that rise. Now, the yeast has been rising for 10 minutes, and as you can see, it's nice and puffy, and that's what we want, okay? Now we're going to take our 3 cups of flour. You're going to take that 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and you're going to mix it well with the flour. You don't want your yeast coming in direct contact with salt because it actually will kill your yeast. Now if April moves a little bit closer, I'll show you the next step, which is making a little well in your flour. Okay, you're going to pour that yeast in there. Make sure you get it all in there. Okay, and now we're going to take this and okay, here it is. 2 tablespoons of the olive oil. I'm doing this in a clean bowl because I want to make sure it's easier to get out of the plastic. I just want to make sure we get a good visual. The rest of the honey, I'm going to mix that together just a little. And we're going to pour that in also with the flour and yeast. Okay. Okay. Now I poured another 3/4 cups of water in here. We're going to be adding that slowly. But first let's go put this on the mixture, or the mixer. Sorry. Okay. Where is my dough hook? Ah, here she is. Okay. Let's unlock this. In place. Okay, now I'm only going to be pouring a little bit at a time. I want to make sure that this mixes well and it doesn't come too sticky. So first we're going to knead it for 1 minute on the first setting, and then we're going to determine whether we need a little more water or not, okay? Alright, so this has been mixing for about a minute. Now we're going to move this up to speed 2. And keep adding the water little by little. And this is going to mix for 2 minutes on the second speed. And we'll come back when that's done. Okay? Okay, now this has been mixing for 2 minutes on setting number 2. So we're going to go ahead and shut this off. Unlock. Oops. Blooper. Excuse me. Take this off of the dough hook and unlock. Okay, and as you can see, it's in there nice and just one big ball. Now we're going to come over here to the board. I'm going to pour some flour down. And take this ball out. And we're going to need, and I'm going to tuck in my blouse. I've already started getting flour on it. So we're going to start kneading this just for a couple of minutes. And you'll see it's nice and elastic. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and keep kneading this for about 2 minutes, and then we'll come back for the following step. Okay, now this has been kneading by hand for about 2 minutes. Okay, and you end up with this nice soft dough. So what we're going to do now is make her into a pretty little ball. Get a large bowl. Take about a tablespoon or so of oil. Maybe a little more. And put it on top of the ball or on your hands. And then you're going to coat the whole bowl because this is going to double, maybe even triple in size. Okay? Now the paper will come over here. I can show you what this looks like. Right there. Now we're going to take a wet cloth, or rag or towel, cover it up, and I need to wash my hands real quick. Okay, now we're covering the dough, and we're going to let this rise for about an hour and a half. You're going to come over, and you're going to set your oven for 500. Your oven only goes to 400, that's fine. 450 to 500 is better. Okay? Remove your top rack, and you're just going to leave your bottom rack on. If you have a pizza stone, you're going to take a pizza stone. This I've had for years, so that's why it looks nice and pretty and used. You're going to set that in the middle of the bottom. You're just going to let it sit there. If you do not have a pizza stone, a cast iron skillet or a comal, anything like this will work fine. Results will be a little different. Or you can just take a regular baking sheet, flip it upside down, and that'll work also. But because it's a little windy outside today, I'm just going to leave the dough in the house with the warmth of the oven. I'm not going to put it on the stove, but I am going to put it next to the stove. With the warmth of the oven, that should rise the dough the way we want it. And that's going to sit here for about an hour and a half. When this is done rising, we'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay?